Guys, welcome back to the channel. We're here to talk all things ZEEKR 009. You guys know I love this car. It's full of tech. It's just an exciting car. It just looks amazing, and yeah. Anyway, let's get straight into it. So, what I want to do is I want to talk you guys through the media release, which includes the spec sheet, the entire walkthrough. I'll go through everything that we can see about the car, and I'll also talk about the competition in terms of what they're pitching the car against, and then I'll let you guys know what I think of the car, and I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments whether or not you guys think it's going to be worth it. So let's jump straight into it, shall we? Okay, so as I said, this was snippets from the publication. I've just extracted it to put it into this presentation because I just feel like it's nicer to look at, nicer to read. I'm not going to read everything entirely word for word, so please, if you guys do want to read it word for word, hit pause on the video and read away. So the context here essentially is pricing. So let's start with the pricing. At the top over here, 7-seater, $135,900, and you've got the 6-seater, $139,900. It talks then about the luxurious seats and so forth. It's also got 30 speaker surround sound system from Yamaha, 7 airbag system, 116 kilowatt hour battery. In terms of the configuration, it is a 2+2+3 for the 7-seater variant and a 2+2+2 for the 6-seater variant. We'll touch more on that in a moment, and I do also have a photo for you guys as well. But let's keep moving on. Then it goes to talk about some advanced technology that's used in the vehicle. So, as I said, 116 kilowatt hour battery pack, which allows the car to propel itself 0 to 100 in 4.5 seconds. So for a car that's that heavy, I think that's actually pretty amazing. And it says here 686 kilometers, but I think that's it was either NEDC or it was a different rating. It definitely wasn't the WLTP rating, so you won't get anywhere close to 686 kilometers, guys. So yeah, just make sure you do look into it before you do buy the car, because if you're expecting 686 and you do buy the car, you are going to be disappointed. Other thing as well is 15.05 2.5K OLED touchscreen. In the middle, you've also got the screen that pops down from the top, 17-inch 3K OLED, and yeah, it talks about the speaker system again. It also does say that there is an suite of driver assistant features utilizing HD cameras and radar to deliver over 20 driving aids, and I'll show you that probably on the next slide as well. And the one that really interests me is apparently there is a 35.95 inch AR heads-up display. I actually don't know how that's going to be possible unless, and I may not have taken notes at the EV Auto Show, but 35 inch, like, it's going to be really big. Yeah, I'm really keen, really interested to see what that actually looks like in real life, because if you're sitting in front of you, 12 inch as we grew up with rulers, 30 centimeters, so this is 35, this is almost 3 times that, so that's 90 centimeters worth. That's fairly big, so yeah, be really keen to see. Either way, they're saying here, now orders are pre-opened and ZEEKR is actively gathering expressions of interest through their website. So guys, have you got one as an EOI? Have you submitted interest? Keen to know. Let's keep moving on. So this is essentially the summary. So how is this all broken up? The long story short is this section over here on the left side and the middle is what you guys get with the 7-seat configuration. Then on the right hand side it says here this 6-seater adds, and it's only actually half of the screen up until here, because it says here, note 6-seat removes the following versus 7-seat, which is these points over here, so you actually lose these. Now I'm not going to go through line by line, so as I said, pause the video here if you guys want to read every single line item. Some of the call outs that I will, I guess, bring your attention to that I feel like is cool or is good is with the 7-seater you do have a walk-through aisle to the third row, so that's really fantastic. It didn't look too wide though, so I'm curious to know, do you have to kind of do this like waddle dance to get through? We'll see one day. We'll see one day. Either way, it's good that they're actually thinking about people going through. You do also get remote control, I saw over here, and retractable individual cup holders. I don't remember seeing that. But you've got phone storage, you've got so many things. The other great thing is heated, ventilated, and massage seats for the first and second row seats, which means that 4 seats, you have all of it. The other really cool thing that I personally like is looking here at the connected service network. It says 5G/Wi-Fi hotspot. So I presume that it does have connected services. Don't know which carrier or which SIM cards they're going to use, but having Wi-Fi hotspot is pretty cool, because then if you've got a lot of guests in the car, even if there's anyone from overseas as an example, you can hotspot potentially and let them use the data from within the car. So that's pretty amazing. Also, the other cool thing that I think I'd like to see is the ZEEKR AI Virtual Personal Assistant Voice Control. Now, if you guys haven't seen it, I'll put a link to the video of the international launch. I did a lot of the translation from Chinese to English, and if it's the same virtual assistant, it can do a fair bit in terms of controlling the car, so I thought it was pretty cool. The one that I feel like I also like a lot, that's worth mentioning, is Digital Key. What I do hope is that you can use it like a Tesla in terms of just being able to operate the car, and also BYD now as well. You can operate the car with just your phone, so you don't need to take the physical key out. I'd be really, really happy. And the other amazing thing is look at all the charging that you have for the car. USB on the second row, you do have a 100 watt and 360 watts. So that pretty much means it's going to charge most laptops. If you guys have, I guess, a more dev spec or high-end laptop that does chew more power, probably won't do that, because I know some of those higher end one needs at least like 140 or 160 watts to actually power it. But for the most part, general office type computers or laptops, you should be able to charge that, which is pretty cool. Foodies, you are going to be really happy. Look at this. You have an 8.6 litre fridge that goes from -6 to +50 degrees, heating and cooling. 50 degrees. You could buy takeout, drop it in there, assuming it fits, and you can keep it hot. In fact, depending on what you get, sometimes it could be hotter after you get home by keeping it in the car. And yeah, so looking to the right hand side, it seems like the differences between the 7 and the 6-seater, realistically, if you look at this top half on the right hand side, is really just a difference in the seats. So the couple of $1,000s you're really paying extra just means that you get wider seats, and I guess the functions of the seats themselves are all noted here. Let's keep moving on, because I want to show you guys the seats actually. So over here on the left side, we've essentially got the 6-seater, so you'll see 2 + 2 + 2, and then on the right side over here you can see 2 + 2 + 3, and so the walk-through aisle over here essentially is for the person to go straight into their seat over here. And yeah, so that looks like realistically the only difference. You can't see too much more difference in the physical, I guess, looks of the seats, with exception to that. And yeah, so let's get moving on. So wheels, 20-inch Starlight Aero alloy wheels. They are 265/45 profile, so they're not the thinnest, which is good, but it is starting to get onto the thinner end. 265 is still decent, and they are equipped Michelin Pilot Sport EV tires. So yeah, apparently that gets road noise reduction by 20%. Either way, that is the wheels. It doesn't look like there's any other options, not from this spec sheet anyway. So let's talk colours. 5 colours you guys can see there: crystal white, grey purple, mineral green, electric blue, phantom black. What do you guys like? I think they all look great. That's the honest truth. Yeah, which colour would you get? If I got one, I personally don't know. I'm really keen to see the grey purple in person though. Traditionally, I guess the words or the colours grey and purple, they don't normally match. So yeah, I'd be really keen to see that in person and to see what the colour really is like. But enough of that, you guys can see the colours there. Let's talk about interior colours, shall we? So this essentially is, I guess, all the interior exterior combinations. The fantastic thing is, if you look at the legend over here, STD NCO. So standard is black crystal white vehicle on stone black interior. Everything else is a no cost option. There is only one combination that you guys can't get, which is the electric blue pearl with the jade green two-tone interior. You can't get that. Don't know for what the reasons are, but basically all the other combinations are all available. They're all no cost options, which is fantastic. So yeah, with these interior colours, stone black, stone grey and polar white, midnight blue and polar white, and then jade green. Let's jump to the next slide so I can show you guys what they actually are. So I'm not going to really talk too much about the colors, but basically pause the video here if you guys want to take a look at the colors, the two-tone colors, and I'm just going to keep moving on to the next slide. Alright, this is towards the end. So specs, we all love specs. So 450 kilowatt, 693 Newton meters, dual motors. In terms of the dimensions, they are all here. So it is a fairly long car, 5209. I used to have a Kia Carnival, and I do remember the specs, 5.155, so 5155 millimeters. So if you guys do have a Kia Carnival, or you're considering one, and then you're considering this as well, understand they are totally different price brackets. However, from a physical size side of things, this car is longer than a Kia Carnival. In terms of battery, so it is an NMC or NCM battery with 116 kilowatt hours, 400 volt architecture. And here is the range, so you can see 19.5 kilowatt hour per 100 k's is the average, and WLTP rating at 582 kilometers. It's got a pretty impressive 0 to 100 time of 4.5 seconds, and it's good to see that AC charge are doing at least 11 kilowatts. So yeah, I would have liked to see it higher, but you know, 11 I guess we could say is the standard these days for a lot of the larger vehicles. You also do have V2L 3.3 kilowatts, and you have air suspension, which is fantastic because I'm sure it's going to be a very comfortable car. Now, onto safety. So 7 airbags, including curtain airbags in the third row as well. I'm not going to go through the rest of these here, but you can basically see all the acronyms for all the safety features that the car offers. So pause the screen here if you guys want to take a look through all of that, and I'm going to move on to the next slide. So let's talk ownership experience. So that's basically everything we're presented. 5 years unlimited kilometer vehicle warranty, 8 years on the battery, or 160,000 kilometers, whichever occurs first. Service schedule, 2 years, 40,000 Ks. Now we don't have, I guess, the full structure of what the dealership model looks like, or where the support or the service side of things is. That's something that I guess is still outstanding that I'd love to find out. And then roadside assistance, 5 years unlimited kilometers, connected services 5 years. Again, there is no indication of cost after the 5 years and what that's going to be. Either way, pricing is there again, and notes that the price there includes GST and LCT, but excludes dealer delivery and on-road cost. So that covers everything from the original press release, so or the media release. So I want to now talk about the two vehicles that this car has been pitched up against when they were designing the car. So again, this isn't essentially what I think the competition is. This was actually formed a part of the original international launch. So they actually had these cars in the presentation to say that when they were designing this car, these cars were the competition. So they wanted to make sure they beat these cars. So let's go. Toyota Velfire and Alphard. These are essentially high-end Japanese people movers. They're used a lot in China, in Hong Kong, and in the Asian countries. We also do import them here into Australia. They're not sold directly by Toyota, but you can get them through importing places. Either way, you can see here roughly 150 to 160 or even $170,000. These are the prices. You'll see also most of these exclude government costs, which essentially is somewhat aligned to the same price of the 009, which means that these ones are obviously pitched a lot higher. What you also do need to take into consideration is these cars here. These are hybrids only. I know some of the older variants also do have a V6 version, but these ones essentially don't come in a full EV or full BEV, battery EV variant. So you're not necessarily comparing apples with apples. You are comparing though what the car actually is, which is a luxury people mover. So that's where we're kind of pitching it. So yeah, that's the Velfire and the Alphard. That's one of the types of cars that they were pitching themselves against. And then the other one is the Mercedes EQV. So this one here, you can see in this spec is drive away about just over $170,000. Now remember, if we want to compare apples with apples, we need to remove some of those figures that we've got there. So if we look down here, the base price here is just over $132,000. It did say included GST and LCT and nothing else. So if we add $132,000 plus another $13,000 something plus another $16,000 something, you get a total of roughly $162,000. So that's essentially the comparison. So we're looking at roughly 140 something, 150 something for the Toyota Alphards and the Velfires, roughly in the 160 mark for the EQV, versus what they have essentially pitched the 009 at, which is around 136 to 140 mark. So in terms of pricing, my personal opinion, based on what they're saying their target market is, I think they've got the price correct. I think they've got it right. The other thing is, if you guys want to compare apples with apples, is you look at the power. Now, I don't know if this car is rear-wheel drive, front-wheel drive, or all-wheel drive on this EQV. Traditionally, if this was a all-wheel drive, there would have been some indication here on the name. But either way, it says 150 kilowatts. The ZEEKR 0009 has 450. That's literally 3 times the amount of power. That's only one thing, obviously, to compare. And I know, yes, power is not everything. However, as a car enthusiast, power is probably up there, almost number one, if not number one, for me. Either way, that just takes me back to the original question of, have they got the price right? My personal opinion is yes, they have absolutely got the price right. Is the price right in terms of comparing with other 7-seaters in the market? Look, it's a high-end car. They're marketing the car. It is a premium luxury car. So you can't say that, oh, a Kia Carnival is, say, $70,000 to $80,000, and that they've got the price totally wrong, because this one is $135,000 to $140,000. That's not the target market. Totally different car. And then, EV9. Is it a people mover? Is it a luxury people mover? No, it's a car that can get you around. It's a 7-seater. It's a comfortable car, and it's still not comparing apples with apples. But either way, if you're saying and you just want to compare purely based on a 7-seater EV car, then let's take the top spec, and then let's compare it to this one. So the top spec GT line is, off the top of my head, about $140,000 drive away, which technically means if this is about $136,000 to $140,000, that the ZEEKR 009 is going to be just a couple of $1,000s more than the top spec EV9 GT line. That's obviously not factoring in some of the dealer discounts that you could potentially get, which is comparing retail prices. So yeah, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. That essentially covers the summary for everything. Hope you guys enjoyed all the content. If you did, make sure you give a like, subscribe for more content, because there's definitely more coming, and we are on 990 something subscribers. If you guys are watching this and you're not subscribed, please help me get to the 1,000 mark before end of year, hopefully within the next couple of weeks or next couple of days. It's obviously going to help my channel grow a long way, and I'm going to appreciate it. And best of all, it's free. So yeah, thanks again. Hope you guys are well. We'll see you soon.